a good thing for us in the business. The tricky part about it is that now the other person sitting across from the fire is a continent away. She's in San Francisco and I'm in Nova Scotia. And there's that time difference thing. Oh my God. Okay? So, what is the future? For those of us in the business, and if you ever figure out what business I'm in, do let me know. Very helpful. It's being able to recognize the face in the crowd. That one-to-one marketing that we all thought was so, oh my gosh. Well, you know, forget, this is not a sales pitch. We've been doing this for a while. We've actually been helping our clients isolate individuals by their thought patterns online. Scary, but why? Why is it scary? We never tie the information back to June. We had this neural signature of what happened, what the person is doing. We don't tie it to her or you or anyone, because we don't care about that. We're very much interested in what is called individualization. Not personalization, not, you know, I love hearing, recognize what I'm about to say comes from a very different set of paradigms than most of you, I assume for most of you folks. I really love hearing people talk about behavioral analytics. And I'm guessing that when you talk about behavioral analytics, what you're talking about is these people were looking at cars across several websites. And you know, for the longest time, I was thinking, like, how can you find that interesting? Not that you don't, and not that I wouldn't, but my concept of behavioral analytics is, how many times did that part of the brain fire while they were looking at a car? Because that's going to tell me when they're going to buy. And that we actually report on that kind of stuff. We call it intender status. I don't know what anybody else calls it. We've come up with a lot of our own language because what the heck, we're like everybody else. You know, there may be words out there which are perfectly suited to what it is, but let's make up our own and confuse the marketplace. So, you know, this concept of what is valuable information, what will people be doing? The transmission of information online is a fascinating thing to really study. We do this thing, this measurement, it's called viral compatibility. A lot of the terms that I use come out of sciences not at all related to web analytics. Did you guess that? One of our senior researchers has written a number of papers on immunoassay development. She was actually one of the people who first developed the serum, which can perform an HIV test in hours instead of weeks. And she happened to know very well how viruses spread in a population. And I'm talking with her and I'm reading through her papers and I'm I know how information spreads. Do you have any models of this? Well, yes, I do. The models were remarkably alike because the information spread still has to occur by human contact. The human contact can be through an email, but that's still human contact. That's information contact. The influencers are going to be the people who believe in the message they are spreading, not in the people that you may be able to influence directly. The way the web is changing is that tribal fire, and I know there's a company called, I think there's a company called Tribal Fire. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about from the anthropology perspective, that tribal fire, okay, that our ancestors gathered around. Do any of you still gather around fires with your community? Okay. We do. We make it a habit. The Next Stage family, we have fires once a month up on our farm. And they're huge fires. You can see them from miles around. We used to draw the RPMC comment. What are you guys doing? Oh, well, we're having a fire. Bring in a fatted calf. No, please. And we talk. Sometimes there's alcohol, and of course that helps. More often than not, there's guitars, violins, fiddles.
Joseph, I'd like to go from the guitars and the fiddles and the alcohol back over to the business application of the technology.
Oh, shucks.
I know.
Okay.
So give us a couple of highlights, given what you've observed about human behavior online, to how we can directly apply this, and I don't mean implement and read the reports, but specifically what kinds of things should we be putting on our should we be A/B split testing on our website that you have gleaned from watching humans that will help our websites help our visitors complete their tasks?
See, this is why I always have my presentations written out, because I will just wander for days.
Just call me Watson.
Thank you. One of the big things that we're noticing and we're really encouraging people to do is, it's called cognitive relevance. And what it really means is put information where it will have meaning to the people seeing it. Okay? Now, when I explain that, does that seem like a strange concept? Put information where it will have meaning to the people who see it. Cognitive relevance. Seeing a billboard for an iPod as I'm in a van coming from the airport to the hotel doesn't have a lot of meaning to me. Okay? However, and I know none of you have seen this commercial yet, we're not sure if you ever will. There's two people having lunch. And one person has their iPod as they're eating a very sticky sandwich. And they're doing things on their iPod as they have a very sticky sandwich. Do you think we're selling iPods? Nope, we're selling an electrostatic cloth that will clean off the face of the iPod. Relevance. Put your ads put your material, whatever it is, on a website, on a consumer site, if you're buying ad space, whatever, where it will have the most meaning. We not a sales pitch. We created a tool called the ad placement tool. You answer a crap load of questions. It goes off, does some calculations, and comes back and says, for everything you've told us, this is where you need to place your ad. This is how big it needs to be. It's for marketing and advertising type folks. But what that's doing is determining the relevance. Where does a certain demographic need to see a car ad so that it will buy the car? Somebody my age, early 50s. Where do I need to see an ad for a car so that I will buy a car? That was a question.
We don't know.
At your mechanic?
What's that?
At your mechanic shop?
Very good.
Credit card.
How about on a web page?
Checking your finances, that's what you're going to do.
You mean physically where on the...
Yeah, I mean literally, where on a web page? If I'm going to a Yahoo or something like that, and somebody has $1 billion to spend, where do you want them to put that?
In the center upper third.
Possibly so, but for my age group, you want to put it right over here in what I believe is called a tower ad. And if you can get that tower ad animated, so the car starts out down here and drives off over that way, I'm going to pay attention. Why? The way my brain is wired. I don't have a choice. It's the way it's going to work. How about if I'm younger? How about if I'm 25 to 34 years old and you want to sell the same car? What?
The top.
Why? That's correct. And why?
That's where you read.
But it's not where I read. So why does it work for 25 to 34-year-olds? You volunteered an answer.
Because digital people read a backwards F, and web and offline people read a backwards S.
Very good. Very good. And that's actually the breakdown that we were seeing as 34 to 35 years old.
You say that again?
No, she can, but I can't.
Well, if